Hey guys, I just got my hair cut down here in Norman. I like it. And anyway, I thought I would chime in and tell you more about the song that called "The River" that I'm releasing next Friday. And I'm really, really excited about it. But I was thinking today, have you ever watched like a Netflix series or read a long book and or watched a long movie, and you get to the end and you're so excited about the ending, and then you're like, that's it? That's how this thing ends? It's so frustrating when you get to the end of something and you just don't feel satisfied at all. Like I remember years ago, Amy and I watched the series Lost. I bet maybe many of you watched it. And we watched season after season of this show, and we finally got to the end and we're like, that's it? This is how this show ends? We were so disappointed, so unsatisfied. Jesus meets this woman at a well. Like he was just walking from Nazareth down through to Jerusalem, and he meets this woman at a well, and he asks her for a drink, and she's like, if you knew who I was, you would never want to take a drink from me. And like, this woman was beaten down by life. I mean, she was married to a man, but she had already had 5 husbands. I mean, her life was a train wreck. As a matter of fact, she was getting water in the middle of the day, like when nobody else would get water because it was just too hot. And so she was always alone, just beaten down. And Jesus asks her for water, and she's like, you don't ask me for water. If you knew who I was, you know. And Jesus is like, no, if you knew who I was, you would ask me for water, because I could give you living water. She's like, living water? I want some of this living water. He's like, man, if you drink this water that I could give you, you would never thirst again. You would have this spring, this well living inside you that would never leave you unsatisfied. And that's really what God promises. That's what he offers through Jesus. I mean, wouldn't it be incredible to always have satisfaction? That's what God offers. And I know some of you guys have had a bad experience with faith, and I hate that. Like, I want to talk about that more this week, but I hate the fact that some of you out there have experiences with Christians or with Jesus or with the Bible or whatever, and it's just horrible experiences. And some of you have had really, really bad experiences, and I am so sorry for that. I really am. But I don't think that's what God offers. Like, God really is wanting to offer you something that satisfies you. It's like the difference between well water. Like there's a well that's sitting there, and there's water stagnant, and it's not stagnant, but I mean, it sits, you know, and you drop your bucket way down 40 meters or whatever, and you pull the water up. There's a difference between water that sits there, and there's a water that flows in a river that comes from a source that never ends. And God's saying, I want to give you something that never ends, that you'll always have access to, that will always satisfy you. That's what God wants for you. Guys, keep chiming in, would you? Like, I'm going to keep talking about this week, and I want you to hear about the river as we go. Guys, have a great day.